Thank you for tuning in to our Right screencasts. Today we will be discussing the grammar rule of contractions. So what is a contraction? A contraction occurs when you combine two words into one. A few letters will be replaced by an apostrophe. For example, take the contraction I'm. The use of contractions can make a thought or command more streamlined and concise. So when should contractions be used? It's always a good idea to consider your target audience. It is most common to use contractions in informal or casual writing as well as speaking. However, in academic and more formal writing, the use of contractions is not encouraged. So how do we form contractions? Here are a few common examples. Let's take the one we first looked at. I am becomes I'm, as in, I'm going to the store this afternoon. I would becomes I'd, like in the sentence, I'd go to the store with you. You will becomes you'll, as in, you'll go to the store when you run out of food. He is becomes he's, in, he's going to the store 2 miles away. She is becomes she's, in the sentence, she's going to the store after class. Cannot becomes can't, as in, you can't go to the store right now. And do not becomes don't, as seen in, don't go to the store on Main Street. And there are many other types of contractions. So earlier I mentioned that contractions should probably be avoided in more formal writing. So how do we undo contractions? Basically, we just come from the opposite direction. Instead of he's going to the store, we would use he is going. And instead of you can't go to the store, we would use you cannot go. One thing to be mindful of while forming contractions is homonyms. So what are homonyms? Homonyms are two words that sound the same but do not share the same meaning. Sometimes contractions can be tricky because the word that is formed sounds similar to another word. For example, let's look at the contraction your. You are becomes your, but this looks and sounds a lot like the possessive pronoun your. Let's take the following sentence. You are in my class can become you're in my class, rather than your friend is in my class, where your is a possessive pronoun. This would be the homonym. Let's look at another example. There. They are becomes there, but this one is tricky because there sounds like there, the possessive pronoun, and there, the preposition. So let's take a look. They are in my class becomes they're in my class, rather than their friend is in my class, where there is a possessive pronoun, or my class is over there, where there is a preposition. So both of these would be homonyms. Now let's look at one more tricky homonym, its. It is becomes its. But keep in mind, its looks and sounds a lot like the possessive pronoun its. It is my first class of the day becomes it's my first class of the day. The possessive pronoun can be seen in I gave the class iguana its food for the day, which is the homonym. So let's remember, the possessive pronoun is not the contraction. The contraction its contains an apostrophe where the possessive pronoun does not. So I hope this has been a helpful guide for forming and using contractions. Thanks again for tuning in to our Right screencasts.